Okay, so I decided to refilm the intro and the outro, but anyway, hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So for you guys today, I have a video I'm actually collabing with somebody. I know, Shanna's collabing with somebody who isn't Connie, and it's an actual full-out collab, which means this video is going to be a lot longer than my normal ones are. But I have an interview style video with Teresa Mulhern. If you guys don't know who she is from Ireland. She is a very lovely, sorry, I don't have a tripod for this part. She's like a very lovely person, and the biggest thing that I like about her channel is like her releases and rants videos. That's how I found her, was through Make Me Up Missa, who was always talking about her, and I started watching her releases and rants videos, and they are kind of like beauty news, new releases and everything, only I like them a little bit better because you have more than just two opinions. She has upwards of 4 or 5 people sometimes on her channel talking about the new releases in makeup and everything. So I really do love her channel. It was so much fun to collaborate with her on this video. And yeah, if you guys want to see what we talked about, what kinds of questions I asked her, what her answers were, just don't forget to subscribe and keep on watching. Also, make sure you go check out Teresa's channel. I will have it linked down in the description box below. Sorry, Teresa, for like changing the beginning. I didn't like how I was in the beginning of it when we first did it. But anyway, with that being said, I hope you guys like this video. Subscribe, thumbs up, check out Teresa, and I will see you all in a minute. Yes, because like the whole premise of this was I messaged you and I said, would you, I didn't even think you were going to say yes for one. Like that actually, I think I shit a ton of bricks when you said yes. And then, and then I went on a hunt for that look. So hopefully the looks are going to be popping up here. But the look I chose for Teresa does very colorful makeup most of the time. And I wanted something that was like slightly more neutral, but not necessarily neutral. And then she was very nice to me and gave me a look that I love. So I'm very happy about that.
Because I've been watching Shanna's channel, so I know what Shanna's makeup style is. So I was like, I know what she likes. Let's do this. So if, by the way, it's the first time you're watching Shanna, for the love of God, subscribe and like and all of that sort of thing, because she's lovely. Very nice. But like, I love how you were like,
you're one of the only people who thinks that.
Well, well, I will smack anyone who says otherwise. I mean, I think it's really funny how you're like, oh, I was surprised when you said yes. But like the whole thing that I've been saying since I started my channel is I want a community, like, of people who love makeup and are excited about it. And we don't all have to have the same opinions. That's fine. I mean, I've loved palettes that other people have hated and vice versa. And it's not that deep.
No, it's not.
Off.
Yes.
We can chill out. But yeah, well, I mean, we'll start smooshing things onto our face, and you have questions for me.
I do have questions. So like the first question is, what made you start your channel?
Okay, so I was living in the UK when I started, and I was working over there in a university, and I was just finding so much of my time was being soaked up by work and, you know, all of the things around that I was kind of finding that I was losing my identity in that. And in psychology, you would kind of state you need to have, don't want to say multiple identities, but multiple sources of self. So it's not just you as a psychologist. You are a daughter, you are a friend, you are this, you are that. And I was kind of finding I was just becoming Teresa the lecturer. And I was like, that is not good for me. And I thought, okay, what are the other things that I'm really passionate about? And for me, a consistent thing has been makeup. So I was like, okay, I really want to like get into this and start doing a channel on this. And I want to have this community, because I had been watching, you know, the likes of Missa, obviously, who I am quite fond of at this point. You know, she's all right, she'll do. So I've been watching her, Samantha March, and Yelika Nyqvist, a couple of other people, and I was like,
I like Angie too.
Oh, she's brilliant. She's so cute. But I was like, not like egotistical enough to be like, oh, I can do that, because like I don't have the skills, and that's fine. But I was like, I feel like I can talk about things at least to some extent, and there aren't that many people I know from Ireland that are doing these things or that are from my field. So I was like, I feel like I can represent a certain number of people. So I was like,
Yeah,
something to do and keep me out of trouble, essentially.
this is true.
Yeah. Glasses, the joys of just like smooshing them all over the place.
Yes.
There we go. I'm just using the Nabla analog palette, which I think is a bit of you, Shanna, if I'm honest.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that the one that you did the look on?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's very nice. It's very nice. And I think out of the two palettes, like out of the analog and the midnight, I think the analog is much better. Much better.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because isn't the midnight one that you did the Instagram look with that I saw earlier today?
I used the two palettes in that.
Because that was stunning. That whole look was really, really pretty.
I liked it. I do like it.
Yes.
But yeah, I used the two palettes together because I was like, screw it. They came out at the same time. That's what we'll do. We'll put the two of them together. So that was my my rationale there.
Right. What's your favorite thing about makeup?
I think for me, it's that two people can use the same makeup item, but they can use it in completely different ways. So any eyeshadow palette that you look at, any lipstick or whatever that you look at, it allows you to express a certain amount of creativity and individuality, and it just gives you this scope to express yourself that is just fun and creative. And I found it really funny. I was like, I watch a frightening amount of TikTok, and there was this thing that was going around being like, ladies, men don't like bold colored lipstick, and everyone was like,
Nobody asked them.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think most of us who wear makeup, we don't wear it for other people. We wear it for ourselves. And for me, I also think that makeup is a huge amount of self-care and self-expression. You feel so good about yourself when you play with it and when you've gotten a look that you feel is you. So I think there's so many sides to makeup, and you could be really, I don't know, simplistic about it and just say, oh, it makes you feel good, but there's a lot more to it than just, it makes me feel nice.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I know, very complicated answers. I'm riveting. Rivet.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people don't realize that for a lot of people, it's not even about like themselves, because I think a lot of people who do this professionally, like do makeup professionally, don't wear that much makeup themselves. It's about painting somebody else's face. Because that's essentially what makeup is it's just different forms of paint.
Yeah, it's sort of like right, so Michael Kors, he's well known for like handbags and fashion, etc.
Yes.
If you see him, he never wears anything other than a black t-shirt and black trousers, and he basically said that he prefers not to bother dressing himself up because he said he uses so much of his creativity doing that, and it doesn't go into his design line. So he's like, oh, I prefer not to have to think about what I'm doing so that I can put the full thing into my work. So I think it's a little bit like that. Makeup artists, they spend so much time doing like this particular thing that often they're well, not often, because like, I mean, we have the likes of Daniela, and she's a makeup artist and she does really complex looks, but sometimes you'll just find
the way she does her eyes, I could never.
I know.
I've tried. I could never.
She's fabulous. No, I love Daniela. She's just so annoyingly talented. She takes something simple and just morphs it into this like glamorous, elegant something. And I'm just sitting there like, I am a potato. Like, what am I meant to bring to the party other than potatoes? Which, no harm in that, like.
No, potatoes are good. Everybody likes a potato.
Particularly if you're
And you can jazz them up in all kinds of ways.
I mean, yeah.
It was funny. I really wanted a potato last night, and I could not find any to save my life. And I don't ever like potatoes.
That is very
I had them too much.
That is very upsetting. Very, very.
Well, I just had them too much as a kid. Like, we had them with almost every meal because they were super cheap and they went a long way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you know you're Irish if like most of your meals have a potato put into them.
Right.
Like we're like, here's a potato. Just pop it in constantly. Although I will say, you know, my partner is Indian and they put up like potatoes into a lot of their stuff as well.
Do they?
Yeah. I was surprised by that. So it's one of the few Hindi words I've managed to learn, which is aloo. So like I just hear he'll be like, "Oh, we're gonna make aloo paratha," and I'm like, "Potato something." I'm listening.
Right.
So I've become like obsessed with Indian food as a result. Love it.
It's good though.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's kind of spicy, but it's not like burning your, nothing that I've tried is like burning your hot mouth.
Yeah.
Spicy, which I appreciate because Shanna does not do spice.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not great
at all.
Spice. It's like flavorsome.
Yes.
And like he makes me the best lentil dal in the world. I know I'm very biased because he's my partner, but it is so good. So good.
Okay to be biased.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. I feel a bit like a red panda right now. You know? No harm. I do like red pandas.
Yes. So other than Missa, who is like your biggest, I guess, like inspiration on YouTube and like why?
I mean, the thing is, since I joined Mrs. Patreon, there's so many people that I have now come to know as a result of this. Elena, who is now obviously a very dear friend, and I annoy her most days. Her level of talent is insane. Like, and I often find myself like kind of channeling a certain amount of an inner Elena to do a dramatic look, and I just find her stuff really, really inspiring. We talked about Daniela, and I know she's not, well, she is on YouTube, like she does her lives, but I find like even her content and stuff on Instagram amazing. Yeah. Tia's the same. Aniela Knickfist. I love her like makeup aesthetic. It's you know, colorful, but it's simple. And I'm like, I'm like, this shows that you can do color and not be like, wha-bam. Like, you know, it's like dipping your toe into color type thing. And I'm like, I think there need a certain amount of that rather than kind of like, here, you must do all the bold and intricate looks. So, I mean, there's so many people out there, and I'm finding more and more every day, like even with my Patreons and stuff, like I've obviously gotten to know you. I enjoy like watching your videos, and there's Eve and Heather, and I mean, there's Tess. I don't have enough time to talk about everyone that I think is really good. And obviously Rebecca, my God. Like, sometimes I just go through her Instagram feed and I'm like,
I know. I do that with Tia sometimes. Like, Tia is, especially since she usually does something like very vampy, and I love that. I love it. I know. I don't do it, but I love it.
Oh, same. And she sizzles. Like, I can't think of any other word to describe it other than like, it's like she smolders on camera. There's something really like, she gives off this energy and you're like, oh my God. Yeah. And she's just an awesome person. Like, she's just so sweet and so kind. Like, I adore her so much. I'm so excited for her getting a new kitten, Freya.
Oh, so did cute.
She did, yeah. It's a little teeny tiny floof. She's like 15 weeks old. Just adorable.
That's a good age.
Yeah.
They still like to snuggle when they're that age.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't care what age they are. I'm gonna make them snuggle me.
Yes.
I'm like, come back here and love me.
Yes. Yeah, and if my cats don't want to, I go get one of my I go get the guinea pig that we have.
Oh, love it. Guinea pigs are adorable.
They are. Well, one of ours just passed away too,
Oh.
so that was kind of sad. Well, they are both adopted, like our cats all are.
Mm-hmm.
They were both adopted. One of them, my cousin gave us when she got. They had actually. It was a Facebook Marketplace ad, and she went to go get the guinea pig crate for her daughter's rabbit or something like that.
Yeah.
And the guinea pig was still in it.
What?
The owners had gotten rid of the guinea pig along with the crate without telling her. So she got like the guinea pig and she called my mom and is like, hey, can you take this guinea pig and you can have the crate too? I'll just buy a different one. And so my mom said yes. And that's Moo. And then Ace, we got, he's the one that just passed away.
Mm-hmm.
We got him when his bonded mate died, because like male and female guinea pigs, like they don't necessarily have to be opposite genders to like bond. You can have a boy in a crate, and if those are the only two guinea pigs in that crate for their entirety of their lives, they bond.
Oh,
it's like kind of when you have people who like I guess with older people, they go from suddenly having a partner to being by themselves. It takes like an effect on them.
yeah.
Well,
isn't it there's a country, is it, I want to say like Denmark or something, where it is illegal to have a guinea pig on its own?
I don't know, but it should be.
There is.
It's fucking stupid.
I'm 99.9% certain that there is a country where it is illegal, and I'm like, that's how it should be, because we need to be nice to the animals and not be DICK heads.
You can say dick. My channel's not for children.
Good, yeah, same. But I'm still like, okay, just in case, because you never know.
No. Yeah, no, you don't know, but like I don't care.
Yeah.
I specifically mark all my videos as not made for children. Like if you're stupid enough to let your children watch it, that's on you, but it's not made for children.
Yeah, I get you.
So
I get you.
Okay, who's a channel that you've been watching a lot of recently? Like, who have you been obsessed with?
Oh my god. I mean, I find it so hard to keep up with everyone, but
yes,
like Elena, obviously, I try and watch all of her stuff. Missa, Heather has started a series, and I'm really excited about the next one. So it's all like mythology and makeup. And I think that's so interesting. I'm like, well then. So every time I see her kind of upload, I'm like, and I run straight on over.
right.
Like, there's a few. Like, I really enjoy Eve's content as well. Like, there's something about her voice that's just really soothing, and I'm like, Beauty news. Like, I'm so sad that they don't do it every week, but I totally get why they're not doing it. Like, from my own experience, it takes forever to put these things together. But
yeah,
you know how they've been doing like their recent thing of like just sitting down and talking about brands?
yes.
I love that. I am here for it. I find that really, really good. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to just break it down to being any one particular thing, but there's quite a few brands or not brands, but like
creators.
Yeah, like we're quite lucky. There's some interesting ones to look at.
Right.
I don't even know how close I am to the look at this point. Like, I think I might have done my own thing with this.
That's okay.
Oh well, #, close enough.
Yes.
If I can achieve anything with my bad eyesight, I think,
Same.
be given a pass, because I can't see what I'm doing.
Oh yeah. I'm literally, I have if you go back far enough on my channel, I have people in my daily life who doubt how bad my eyesight is, but like if you go back early enough into my content, you can hear me like holding, like if I hold this compact so I can like see in it, you will hear the brush hitting the side of the compact as I'm trying to blend out the eyeshadow because I hold it that close.
Yeah.
So I understand.
Even for me, this mirror is not close enough, but I've learned to kind of like have the mirror at a certain angle so that I can still pick up a certain amount of it on the camera. But like when I'm filming, I don't know how much is actually being taken up on camera. It's like
well, I mean, if it helps, you stay mostly in frame.
Mostly, but every so often I wander off. I'm like, meh, close enough.
Yep. I'm using like I said, I'm using the Tati Beauty palette, and I just hit pan on it for this shade. So I was very happy about that. It's like not a very big pan, but it's like it's there.
I so wish that Tati Beauty was sold like somewhere other than her
website.
Yeah, because like being Irish, it's really difficult to get, and then there's all the shipping and stuff. Like I just wanted to be sold elsewhere. So because I quite like the look of that palette. I think it's really smart that she has all the different textures. Like I think that's really...
I could do. Yeah, it is like a really nice palette, and the glitters are next level. But like I could do without the glitters because I don't wear glitter at all. And even as nice as her glitter formula is if you don't whack on like a pound of glitter glue, it's going to move no matter what. It just shifts. But that's like the nature of glitter.
Yeah. Fair.
Why? I don't care, Huda. Oh shit. Hold up.
You're all right.
Damn it. Fuck me up. Zoom. Still okay.
Yay, you're back.
Well, I was trying to like exit out of, because I can't figure out how to make it so like my notifications don't interrupt me on this phone.
Yeah.
So like I keep trying to like clear them, and that one actually took me back to my text messages, and I'm like, no. I didn't want that.
Technology, it's meant to make life easier for us, and yet
it's more difficult.
Yeah. Let's go live in the woods. It's gonna be easier for us, I think.
Right.
Do you know what? I don't hate the way this is turning out.
It looks really nice.
I'm kind of like, oh, I feel all smoky. Although, mind you, like giving me a Nikki Tutorials look, the friggin' goddess that Nikki Tutorials is. I died when she saw she did like a makeup look with Damiano David from Måneskin, who I am obsessing over at the moment. So I was like, my worlds are colliding. It's makeup and Måneskin. So yeah, I'm excited.
I love watching her channel so much. Like, I love it.
She's so sweet. Like, I think she's like just a really nice person. You know, like I want to see her do well, and she has been doing well, and she totally like 100% deserves all of it. So it's just nice to see people like that getting places, and they do legitimately deserve it.
Yes.
Okay, I have things here. I think this shade will work a bit more. I'm like, pressed pigment. Or not pressed pigment, loose pigment. One day I'll get there with words. Probably.
Listen, it's okay. I don't judge. Anybody who judges has got more time on their hands than I do.
I think maybe I need more black.
Okay, this is one I feel like is like an interesting question, although it's not actually that uncommon. If you could make YouTube like your full-time job, would you?
Okay, a couple of months ago, I would have said no because I love my job. However, I've had some drama in my work, and it's making me question I can't go into detail because it's like a whole confidentiality thing. But it has made me question a lot of things and just some ethical practices. And I'm very binary on like, which is kind of funny considering, you know, I'm pansexual, but I'm very binary on like right and wrong. So when I see bad things happen, I'm very like, it should stop now. So like I said, a few months ago would have said, no, love what I do. I would keep with that. But now I'm kind of like, oh,
maybe.
You know what? If this did ever be a thing, I would. But I don't think it ever would be a thing. Like for me, I do enjoy doing it as a pastime. So I'm like, look, I'll take what I can get, and I am very thankful for anybody that watches my content because I spout a lot of nonsense, really.
Okay, kind of going along with that, would you ever consider making your own brand?
Oh my God, I've talked about this like so many times, like even in our like WhatsApp, I've said.
See, I'm terrible about that. I never go into that.
Oh my God, it moves so fast. Poor Jenna came in. Yeah, Jenna came in this morning. She was like, "What have I missed?" 1,000 messages, and Charlotte Pidonia was just like, "And here's the list of what happened." Oh my God, you're like a news reporter just coming in and like being super succinct on things, because I would struggle to like really outline these things.
Well, you and like I'm part of your Patreon and I'm part of Mrs. and that's it. And like even Mrs. I never go in and check. Like if I've sent her a message, I go back every so often and check to see if she's answered, because I don't expect her to answer right away. And you, if I want to talk to you, I just message you on Instagram.
Yeah, like the best way to catch me, because I'm usually like trolling through Instagram to see like what newness is out there.
Yes.
But I have said a few times I would love to have a cosmetics brand, and I would call it Black Cat Cosmetics. And like I know what the logo.
Black what?
Like. Yeah, Black Cat Cosmetics.
Oh,
meow. Yeah.
Yes.
And the first thing
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, who knows? And the first thing I would come out with would be the Midnight palette. I've thought about this too much. And it would have green, purple, blue, and black gray columns. So going from like deep colors that you would kind of see throughout the night, like dark, murky colors. That's what it would be. I've thought about this too much, but that's what I would do. One day. Yeah, I would buy that too. That's the thing. But in saying that, there's so many like brands out there already. Like, yes, you know, that I'm like, oh God, like what could I actually bring to the table? You know? Yeah. And like I'd love to do a collab at some point, but I would be really picky. Yes. As if I'm in a place to be picky, but I like, even I have people sometimes like messaging me about like PR or whatever, and they're like, you know, you have to give this sort of a review, or you have to do this way, XYZ. Then that's not a review. Yeah. When you send PR, you risk the chance of somebody not liking it. Exactly. When you pay me, you can pay me to say all that. Yeah. Well, even then I wouldn't, because I'm like, no, I don't want somebody to waste their money on something that isn't good. So on a crappy product. Exactly. So I've turned down quite a few offers at this point because people are like, oh, you know, just do this or promote us and we'll give you an affiliate code and get your followers to buy this and we'll give you X amount of this. And I'm like, but I don't know what your products are like. Yeah. I get messages like that on Instagram, and they're all like MLM companies and shit. It's like, dodgy AF. And I'm like, I think, you know, your word means a lot. And if you start saying that something is amazing and it really isn't, you know, you're going to lose faith, or people are going to lose faith in you. Absolutely. They'll be like, what is she at? Like, does she know things, or does she care? Like, why is she doing these things? Like, when I buy products to review them, well, I want to love them because I've bought stuff that I think is like my makeup aesthetic. But I will also still be like, okay, I either love this or I hate this, or it's somewhere in between. Like, I'm not gonna make SH1T up and be like, oh yeah, no, like it's amazing. Like, if I love it, I'll reuse it. Like, I mean, for instance, you know, the Meet Me in the Underworld. I love this. One of my favorites. I love Lois as a human being. She was so kind and actually sent this to me, and there was no thing of like, oh, you have to give me a positive review. No, there was none of that. And I reach for this all the time. Like,
You do.
I love it so much. You know?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I think that's actually kind of close enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to do the under eyes and stuff, but like,
do that after you get your foundation done and shit.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's gonna go everywhere.
Exactly. Dun 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 dun. And now for an attempt to tightline.
What is your favorite makeup product? Like, it can be a palette or like a specific item.
Like, as in like a brand, or like an actual thing, or like
an actual product. It doesn't have to be from like a specific, or it doesn't necessarily have to be like your favorite brand, because that was another question, was like, what's your favorite brand? But then, like, what is your favorite product aside from that brand?
Yeah. I mean, I am a hoe for eyeshadows. Like, that is just, I mean, if you look at my channel, my main thing that I review ends up being eyeshadows, because that's the thing that I just am bonker balls crazy about. I mean, I'm looking around me, because I'm like, okay, the stuff that is closest to me is the stuff that I like will gravitate towards. And the stuff that I even brought traveling with my, like, to my parents is like a big thing. I mean, the Meet Me in the Underworld palette is like endgame for me. Like, I bought two of them. I have two of them because I live in fear that one will disappear. Because that's how my brain works. That's how much I love it.
Yeah.
That's not a normal reaction to things. And I'm very aware.
No, you know what? So JSC, the first palette I had ever bought myself was from that company, and it was the Alien palette, and I used that palette to filth. Like, I had hit pan on a couple of shades, and it was getting to the point where I had it long enough that, like, it was not bad, but like, it was definitely getting more difficult to work with because the formula was drying up. And I was showing my cousin that palette, and I dropped it, and it hit the chin, and it shattered.
No.
And the amount of sadness I felt for that was so bad, especially when I remembered that he had discontinued it, so I couldn't even repurchase it. I was so sad. So, like, fearing something disappearing is not that bad.
Yeah.
You are justified in your fear.
Okay, I appreciate
especially the rate at which things get discontinued. I don't know why I'm doing concealer twice, but I am.
Well, why not? Sometimes there are things that we just need to hide. Go on, lashes. There we go.
So is Lois Cosmetics your favorite brand then, or do you have another favorite brand?
Oh my god, like, Lois is, I hate her so much, because I want to at some point just, and I keep, I was awful to her when Meet Me in the Underworld came out, because she sent it to me, and I was messaging her that I was using it straight away. Like, I have like no chill. I was just like, it's here, it's happening, and I dropped everything to go and play with it. And I sent her a message being like, I hate you so much, this is so shit. And she was like, what? And I was like, it's shit how much I love it. And I now live in fear of my life without it. And she was like, please do not do this to me.
Yeah.
She was like, I thought something really bad had happened. So I was like, oh yes, sorry. Yeah, and like I think as well, like now that I've gotten to know Lois as a person, she's just so lovely. Like she's just a really genuine, lovely person. And that's one of the things about like indie brands. You really get to see the people behind it. So I really I love that. I will say, like for more affordable things, although I think Lois's stuff is actually quite affordable. I really think Beauty Bay is pretty excellent. Like really, really, really good. Like their quality is nuts. Like if you look at the Nikki palette, the like shimmers in that are insane.
That's why I was so surprised, like that that Missa didn't like it, because I watched Missa review it before I bought it, and I almost didn't buy it because she said she didn't like it. And then I bought it, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
This is beautiful."
But this is the thing. This is why, you know, you can't go on one review alone because things like bad batches happen. You know, it can be a thing that you just get a bad example of something. I mean, it happened to me with the Be Perfect Scepter palette. You know? Like,
well, okay, but then she was just a bitch about that.
I
that
mean,
was the thing. She was just a dick. Like her and her husband were just a dick.
Yeah, I wasn't wild on that, but I still do think that what happened there was like a rogue palette, but they didn't deal with it in the correct way. I will say that Brendan from Be Perfect, he was lovely. Really, really, really nice, really professional, and like he really helped on the whole thing. So I have nothing but like good things to say about him and his involvement and all of that, but not so much about the other two.
Yeah, you don't attack somebody for not liking your palette. I mean, you can ask them, okay, why? Like, and that would make sense to ask why, or you know, listen to the review and oh God. When I saw that, I was like, let me tell you, I was so pissed off. It's like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially when you said, or that she said that she had nothing but good reviews up until you. And it's like, well, if that's the case, then maybe it was just a bad one. You know, shit happens. Move on with your life.
And I mean, literally, Elena has had that with Be Perfect before, where she had a bad palette from them. And they ended up like giving her a replacement for it. So it's not uncommon. And like, that's why, you know, like say with Missa and the Beauty Bay Nikki tutorials, it does seem like she got a bad, like
twice though. She didn't like it twice.
Yeah. Like, she did like it the second time when she got like a replacement. She was like, oh, actually, this is much better. Yeah, she was like, oh, this is actually much better. I think I got a bad one. She was like, oh, SH1T. I've been going around saying this was not good. And I'm like, yeah. That's why I've started like saying on my channel, like, don't just go on my one review. Check out other ones, because this is just, you know, my experience with this. And there's so much more to it than that.
This is what I don't understand. This eye is almost like perfectly winged out, and then this one is more rounded, and I'm right-handed. So you think my right eye would look better than my left. Oh,
I always have one eye that I do better than the other.
It pisses me off.
Oh my God. Like, it bugs me so much. It's always this eye looks better than this eye. So I'm like, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, it always ends up being like my left eye that looks better. And I think it's just because it's less hooded than my right eye, even though I'm right-handed.
Yeah.
Because usually what it is like your dominant hand is the one that you're gonna, like, your dominant hand with your like, you know what I mean? Like the same side is gonna be the best.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah, I'm the same. This eye is more hooded than this eye. And you can really see it when I'm attempting to do things like graphic liner, because I'm like, ah, for God's sake, because I have to really think about where I'm placing stuff.
Yeah.
It's a pain. But again, very first world problems, you know? It's like,
Yes. Like, I mean, if that's the worst thing I have to worry about in my lifetime, I'm having a good life, you know, overall.
yeah. Still though, we can have a little moan. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I love that
So,
when I had Sahil do my makeup, I'm just like thinking of it because I'm using concealer now. I was like, cover up any bits of redness with the concealer, and he just proceeded to cover my entire face. So now I'm like, is my entire face red? Is that what you think? And he was like, yeah. Like, thanks. You've given me such a complex now about my body. Really appreciate it.
my face is like the same way. My face is like very ruddy and like tone, but my neck is like, I have like a warm undertone.
Yeah.
And I find that if I just use like a slightly warmer foundation than what I need, or like a neutral one, well, not really a warmer one, but like a more neutral tone one, it color corrects in and of itself, which I think helps a lot. And then also, like, surprisingly, that freaking Versali unicorn essence thing, that helps a lot because it's pink and it like brightens the ruddiness.
I was just thinking though, for Sally, we're kind of saying, you know, because they had like a kid and a lot of their stuff hasn't restocked, and they're like, we don't know if we'll ever even bother going back into business because we're so happy with, you know, the way that things are. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Good for them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for people kind of prioritizing stuff in their life. Like at the end of the day, you know, your work is just your work. Your family are going to be the most important thing to you. So I'm like, I like that, you know? Sorry, I make a lot of weird noises when I'm doing things.
You're fine.
Bear with me.
You're good. I get it. That's... what is one brand that you want to try?
I really want to try Besame. Like I think their collections are really, really interesting because, like, say for instance, when they were doing the Sleeping Beauty collection, all of the colors that they used in the eyeshadow palette were directly pulled from the movie. And even like things like the lipstick of like, it's pink, it's blue, it's pink, it's blue. I thought that was really smart. Like all of their collections really link in with the original inspiration. Their recent Marilyn Monroe collection, you could totally see that with their collection with Mary Poppins. I really want to try that, but also, you know, I'm like, it's expensive. And then I'd kind of be afraid to try it because it's almost like, you know, from collector's items. Yeah, yeah. Other than that, I have been tagged this week in an Hermes highlighter.
I saw that on Instagram and I'm like, no way in hell.
And I'm like, okay. And I like the look of it. Like, it looks beautiful. But I'm like, that will probably cost me $200 or something ridiculous like that, you know, because that's just their pricing. But I, you know, if it's one of those things that if it like landed on my door, I'd be like, oh, well, hello there. Like, as if
you'd be excited to have it, but you're not necessarily going to go out and spend that much money.
Exactly. I'm ridiculous, but I'm not like that ridiculous.
You're not insane.
Well,
not about that.
It's all subjective.
This is true.
I'm gonna pretend that I have cheekbones now. It's a thing.
Listen, I feel that.
Let's cut out or carve out those dietary sins.
I had one girl, and she's like one of the subscribers I've had for a while. She commented on a video and asked me if I had a nose job done because I guess like the contour was that good, and I'm like, no, like I wish, but no.
Why would you want a nose job? Your nose is fabulous.
Because it's huge, like it's gigantic.
Although the problem is sometimes, you know, with nose jobs, if you go to the wrong person, they can minimize your nose, but then it stops being
It
functional.
messes up the rest of your face. I know.
Yeah, but you see, I'd be more worried about like it not being functional anymore and it affecting things like breathing. But I'm also like the sort of person that is like, okay, if it's something that bothers you and you think it would make you happier, go for broke, you know? I'm not going to be telling somebody what to do with their body, you know?
Yeah. No, I don't want it like bad enough to change my face. Like the one thing I've considered doing is getting Botox, but like that's fucking expensive.
Oh my God, I had Botox once and I loved it. And I want to get it again. And you know what? If it lasted for longer, I would totally do it. But it only lasts for about like 2 months on me for some reason. And like I have the worst forehead wrinkles. Like I'm so self-conscious of them to the point that I'm like thinking a lot about like some sort of facelift like down the road. So it's annoying.
There are things that, like I want to change, but I don't want to change anything on my face like bad enough to actually commit to doing the change.
Yeah.
That absolutely not. That I'm paranoid about it.
That's fair.
Okay, so what's one brand you feel is like, 1000% worth the hype that you've tried?
Oh God, let me think. That's a really tricky question. I think Beauty Bay. You know, people are talking more and more about it, and I think that is correct. Like they are really, really, really good. I'm not going to say Lois Cosmetics again because that's just ridiculous. I hate her so much.
Well, it shows that you like the brand, like you consistently like the brand.
Yeah.
So,
and I do, but I'm also like, Jesus, Teresa, like stop being a one-trick pony. There are other things out there, like calm your tits. You know, there are other things. But yeah, I think Beauty Bay is just really, really consistently good. Yeah. Can't think of any. Like I'm like looking around to see what I have. But Natasha Denona.
really?
Yeah, if you want like effortless, like you just want to pop something on. Like I think the price is nuts, right? So I would say wait until there's a sale. Like there was a really good sale on there recently where like the prices were slashed. But for instance, I have the Circo Loco. I put a little bit of that on today, and I just love it. Like I have quite a few of the palettes, and part of what I like about it is irrespective of like your skill level, you will get something nice out of it because it blends really, really well. And like even if you get like say the 5 pan palettes, I think they're a really nice little introduction to the brand at an affordable price. I think they're really good. Now, do I think they justify the insane, the bananas price tag? No. But if you were told in the morning, like you can have any brand that you want for free for the rest of your life, I would go with Natasha Denona.
Really?
I really like them. I also think they're I Need a Nude lipstick. People don't really talk about them, but I really like it. Really like it.
Okay.
Yep. I like makeup.
I do too. I want to do like I have a video. Is today Tuesday? Yes, today's Tuesday. I have the video that it's coming out tomorrow where I was like kind of doing like a get ready with me style video and talking about makeup that I want, and like Natasha Denona's on there, but then like I would also love to try Pat McGrath.
Yeah.
But nobody buys me makeup. Like I can 1, 2, 3. I have like 4 pieces of makeup that other people have gotten me, so nobody in my life is going to give me
Pat McGrath, and I cannot justify at the moment spending that much money on eyeshadow, because that's like a third and then some of my rent.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's again one of those things that if you see it on sale, yeah,
I would get it, but
totally fair.
So I guess the opposite question of that would be is like, what's one brand that you don't think deserves the hype that they get?
I don't. Right. Okay. I mean, there's a few different things. Estee Lauder. Remember, there was a thing at one point where everyone was like all on about like double wear, and
Yes.
like that has gone now. And I'm like, I don't get why people are so into that and still kind of talk about that to some extent. I'm like, how is that brand still even alive? Like that genuine, like I'm not being mean. I just genuinely, I need someone to explain to me how they're still like actually a thing. I think while I like Hourglass, and I think they've done some really interesting things recently, like their whole lipstick that had no carmine in it. I thought that was really interesting, and I actually got that as a gift because I was like, I'm not buying anything from them because of, you know, their poor shade range. Like they are both interesting, but also like, come on now, their shade range. I don't understand why people get so excited about it. Same with Charlotte Tilbury and her eyeshadow palettes. I don't get why people get so excited about that, but it's probably just because they're very neutral, and I think they're way too expensive for what they are. I'm having a lot of rants about things, but
that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay. As to like the Estee Lauder thing, I think the reason why a lot of makeup brands that are found to be boring on YouTube survive is because when you look at like, and I'm not defending any brand, but like I think about this a lot, is the fact that the YouTube beauty space community, even like on a large scale, is still a very small population of the world. They are very, very small. So when you think about like Urban Decay, I talked to my friends at work about like a bunch of different brands, and some of the only ones they know are like Urban Decay, NARS, like these very old brick and mortar type brands.
Yeah.
And you see like them being talked about less and less online, but the people who buy them in store don't care about what they look like online or what some dumbass on the internet thinks, or their opinion of a dumbass on the internet thing.
Yeah. Actually, funny that you should say Urban Decay. I think definitely they're on the way down in terms of innovation, and I'm desperate for them to come back, because they would have been my first foray into like what I consider like interesting makeup. Like, you know, I got the electric palette, I got the moon dust, I have quite a few of their singles, and I just feel like it's been ages since they've done something really, really interesting. So I want to see them back to how they were. It makes me sad.
Yeah, I think the reason that they continue to survive despite like, because even people outside of YouTube, like their eyeshadow palettes are pretty basic, and this is coming from me. Yeah. Like, and I love a basic eyeshadow palette. They are pretty basic, and the formula is not that great for how much they charge.
Agreed.
But I think the reason they continue to survive is because they have a lot of complexion products. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm probably wrong, but didn't Urban Decay, for like foundation wise, didn't they for the longest time have one of the most inclusive shade ranges?
They did.
Maybe not, but I think they did.
I think they did, but I'm not entirely certain. Like, they really found fame with the Naked line, like with the Naked eyeshadow palettes. That was their thing, and that's why they just keep like coming out with palettes that are like Naked Cherry, Naked Honey, Naked da da da, and I'm like, what does this even mean now? Like, what's going on? But that's just me being probably a smidge salty. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows at this point?
Right. Well, like, I think the reason they will continue to survive is because the products that people buy the most of, like, not every single person is going to have 20 different foundations. Most people have like one or two or like maybe three at most that like they stick with.
Yeah.
And they go through them on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So
like normal people not having like 20 bottles of bloody foundation. Oh my god.
Yeah, so like if they've got like a large enough audience of normal people buying complexion products, that's sales.
Yeah.
Especially since, like, have you tried their Hydromaniac tinted thing yet?
I haven't. I bought it and it's back at my house in Carlow, but I haven't tried it yet because I'm really weird in that I won't open a foundation until I have finished one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just, with the expiration date on like liquid products, I'm really, really particular about that. Like, don't care about the eyeshadows. I mean, I do, obviously, I love eyeshadow, but I'm like, oh, that could be 10 years old and I'll still put it onto my eyelid. But I'm really particular about foundations.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm trying to use up, where'd it go? The Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation right now.
Yeah.
Is I've had that one for a while. I love it, but I'm trying to like use it up, and then I probably won't repeat it because like I'm trying to use up other things.
Yeah, I hear you. So basically, exact same as me. Yeah, I hear you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we kind of touched on this earlier, but like, how did it feel to have like your first like big scandal with the Be Perfect palette?
Oh my god, that was like I was like, I'm over here minding my own business. And it was really funny because when it all went down, I had just finished filming with the Morphe palette. And I had actually, like literally in that video, been like, I had kind of said like, oh, I didn't love the palette, but I really hope the Vivian does well because they deserve it. And I've bought this palette from my friend Rebecca because I think, she loves Be Perfect anyway, and she loves the Vivian. And I would like the Vivian to get the money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this did not age well because it was like an hour after I finished filming that I got all of that mess. Like it was like, honestly, it was so weirdly stressful, and I'm kind of annoyed that it stressed me out in the way that it did because it like I feel like they took too much of my time and consideration. Like I shouldn't have let it bother me in the way that it did. But I am also the sort of person that I wouldn't let it lie. Like I wouldn't just be like, oh, they were mean and I'm not going to say anything because
I would have been a bitch.
Yeah. Like I still was like, I want to be respectful because I just don't want to get down in the mud with people. I don't think that's appropriate. And people just start to be like, oh, well, you kind of deserve it because you're being whatever about this thing. But I just...
What did you do wrong? That's the whole thing. You didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
You are allowed to have an opinion that does not do the whatever. You know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was really, really stressful. Like I ended up like not sleeping. I was like really upset because I mean things kind of affect me a little bit more in certain ways. Like I have like I've said this before, I'm autistic, so I tend to kind of like fixate on things, but I also have like major depression, anxiety disorder and panic disorder. So kind of when things like this happen, it tends to kind of get me. And what I would have done in the past would just kind of be like, I don't want to say lie down and take it, but just be like, oh no. But I'm quite I don't want to say proud of myself, but I'm happy that I pointed it out and I kind of let people know that this was happening, because I probably wouldn't have done that in the past. I'd have probably like internalized a certain amount of that and probably unhealthily said, oh, you probably deserve a certain amount of this, or you weren't being fair, or XYZ. But
Yeah.
it was not pleasant. But I also I don't want to say I'm glad that it happened, but part of what was so positive about that was I really saw the community. Like the amount of people who were like, no, we really care about you and we hope that you're okay. I was like, oh my God, like this is like so kind. So for me, that was like a really big thing, because again, it solidified to me, well, this was exactly why I got into YouTube, not to get into drama. Lord knows, I don't like that. I like a quiet life, but I wanted to have people in my corner and to be in other people's corner. So for me, I was like, that's a really positive thing out of that. So long answer again.
Yeah.
It's complex and my brain hurts.
Right. Okay, this is kind of like just an oddball question that I was thinking about today, because I added this one in today, like an hour before I sat down to do this with you.
Oh.
If you could have any, and like this is also a pretty common question, I feel like, but if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
I would want to be like Mystique from X-Men. Because I would love to be able to change the way that I look. And I know that's probably a very unhealthy answer. I'm very aware of that.
Through my lip liner across the room.
Like, I'm very aware.
No,
I should be like, and I try to be as content in my body as I can be, but like so much of society kind of says, you must look this way and you must do this and you must do that. I'm like, I wonder what it would be like to look a certain way, or I'd love to be like a man for a day.
I don't know if I'd go that far. Like, I don't want to be a man for a day, but I was literally thinking about like, would I rather be invisible, or do I want to be able to shapeshift so I can just like fly and or get away from my problems for a day?
Oh, I mean, that does make sense. No, I'd be interested just to see from a sociological point of view how different it would be to have interactions as a man versus as a woman.
Maybe. I don't know, but maybe. Like, I can see where that would be interesting.
Yeah, look, you can see I'm a psychologist. I'm just like, I wonder if
I have a bachelor's in psychology, so like I understand.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I keep talking over you. It's not my intention.
Oh God, don't worry. Jesus, no, this is usually how this goes, because it's so hard to like get the cues of when somebody is talking. Don't worry about it. It's all grand. And that's my brow. It's done. Such style, such grace.
I like your eyebrows.
I grew them myself, so stunning. Bum. And I will find something now. You can really see my bingo wings here.
I refuse to wear tank tops because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I'm eventually going to get a brachioplasty.
A what?
A brachioplasty.
What's that?
Basically, it's where they cut along here and they remove that.
Oh.
Yeah. Take it off.
That would be nice.
Yeah. I've said this to Sahil and he gets really upset every time I say it. And I'm like, it's all right. Like, it's not happening to you. And then he thought like, I love you as you are. And I'm like,
well, that's lovely, but nobody asked you.
Yeah, I'm like very sweet sentiment. But at the end of the day, it is my body and it is not about your opinion of my body. And he's like, oh, actually, that's fair.
Mm.
And he was like, okay, actually, when you explain it in that way, it makes sense. And you know, if it makes you happy, okay, but note that it's not something I feel that you need. And I'm like, okay, I respect that, but I will do my own thing. So bless him. He's learning. He's learning. We're all learning.
Yeah. So what's your favorite thing to do other than like make YouTube videos and stuff?
Okay, this is going to sound really weird. I love crocheting. I love.
Yes, we are the same person.
I am currently working on a little cardigan for my cousin's kid. Hold on, I'm gonna grab it. Ugh. Oh, and also like I crocheted this for Daniela
I'm not that talented. That's really good.
because she likes Sonic. And I'm in the middle of doing this, so it's I still have to finish it, but it's like a little cardigan.
Baby jacket?
Yeah, a little cardigan for a teeny tiny human.
My mom can crochet like that. I like to make scarves and like ear warmers and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I've made like hats and stuff for Sahil because he's just not used to the weather here, and he's like, why is it always so cold? So he has to go to bed with like a hat on, which I'm like, I think you're a bit broken, sir. Like a little bit broken. So yeah, he has to have like his little hat to go to bed. So I've made him a hat for here when he's at my parents' house, and then he has a hat for his house in Dublin, which he brings with him now everywhere, just in case. And I'm like, oh, bless. I will find you, brush.
Isn't that like the worst part? Like when you have so many brushes, you can't find the one that you're looking for.
But I weirdly know because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pots of brushes, but I know where each one is.
I would lose my mind. I have got like 2, but they are both like jam-packed.
Yeah.
When are you going to film your makeup collection video? Because I want to see that.
I am hoping that I'm going to do that in like August, September. Because at the moment, obviously, I'm at my parents, so I'm not around my collection. And also, there's a part of me that is like, there is so much of this. Like the vastness of it is kind of like intimidating. That I'm like, what have I done? This is like, just even looking at my eyeshadows alone, I'm like, oh, this won't just be one video. This is gonna have to be 2 or 3 videos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like I'd say easily there's maybe 300 eyeshadows, like eyeshadow palettes.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have a problem. Everything's fine.
I'm not judging. Well, okay, maybe I am a little bit, but not because it's bad.
Yeah.
I like watching makeup collection videos a lot.
Oh my God, same. Like
It's like my favorite thing to do, especially because the TV that we have in the living room at my house, you can connect to like YouTube on there, and it's like 82 inches. It's a big TV. So I love to watch makeup videos on that. Unfortunately, I have I have a bunch of younger siblings that also like to watch TV, so I don't get to do it very often. But when they're gone for the weekend,
that's when
that is what I do.
it. Yeah,
Yes.
it's on my list of things to do, and I do think like probably coming back into September, because I'll be like back into lecturing and stuff, that I'll probably just sit down and go, okay, this is what's in this drawer. This is what's in this drawer. This is what in the like. It's gonna take a while. Also, like my makeup room is currently a mess because my house was done up recently. Got new windows, so everything was kind of put all over the place. So future Teresa has to like
Organize it. That's fun.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite step of, like, other than eyeshadow? Because I feel like that's probably your favorite thing to put on, if I'm guessing correctly. But like, what's your second favorite thing to put on then?
I quite like putting on blush. Like I really enjoy that process. And then I'm just like, how much blush is too much blush? And because I'm so white, like
It really shows up.
fading into,
Yeah.
like, where does the wall end and where do I
You are pretty pale. Like, I did not realize how pale you were, but like sitting here looking at you, you're pretty pale.
Oh yeah. Like when people meet me, they're like, are you okay? Like, are you sick? And I'm like, I've got a tan.
No, I'm just naturally this white.
Yeah, like I genuinely, I mean, the only time I had any bit of color was when like my liver was failing, and then I was a beautiful shade of like a Simpsons character. So it was the one time I had a bit of color in me.
That's funny. That's funny. Okay, I guess like taking off makeup too is important. So what's your favorite skincare stuff then, I guess? Like,
Ooh, okay.
or your favorite skincare product?
There's okay, right. So if you had asked me this a year ago, and my friends will know this because they were horrified. I was terrible with skincare, like really, really bad. I was like, bar of soap, bit of water, be grand, right? Haha, the follies of youth, which is probably why my skin is not the best. But now I have learned so much more, and I'm kind of still trying to learn more stuff about skincare. But I'm like, you cannot live without a good cleanser, like a good, like take all of this muck off cleanser. And I like the Primark Pennies Balm to Oil cleanser. It's cheap, it's cheerful, it does the bloody job, and it's very good as part of like your two-step like double cleanse. Although I never end up doing a double cleanse, I end up doing like a triple or a quadruple cleanse because I'm there in there with 1,000 different things being like, so much on my face, and it's like I can see it. I love Glow Recipe to like a frightening degree. The watermelon sleeping mask is like one of my favorite things.
Are you okay there?
Mm-hmm.
That was a heavy sigh. Sorry.
Fair. Yeah, the watermelon sleeping mask, amazing. My skin can be a bit like sometimes, which is like thanks. And the Inky List, like Rebecca turned me onto this. The Inky List C50 nighttime something. It's something like it's like nighttime blemish treatment. Amazing. That is, I've repurchased that I don't know how many times at this point, and it is incredible. It is so good at like helping to clear out like any like kind of bits of blemishes that are turning up. Love that. And I also love the Beauty Bay blemish patches for...
I want to try those. Did you see that they're coming out with like their own version of the cleansing balm?
I did. And I was talking to Gaia about that today, and she was like, oh, I'd love to try it, but it has linolene and that doesn't agree with her. So she was like, oh, other than that, I would have gotten it. So I'm like, I get you, because there's nothing like a good balm. Again, me from 2 years ago wouldn't have.
All right, you guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do not forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. I would very much greatly appreciate it. Like I said earlier, go check out Teresa. With that being said, I will see you all later. Goodbye.